All righty. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Tricia here with Align by Faith. And I shared last week about having guests, and today's my first guest speaker. She's here to share about her purpose-driven business. Her name's Megan. And I met Megan at a networking event that I decided to join for 2026. And it's been one of the most abundant growth things I've done for my business and for my brand, and just to meet other like-minded faith-based women. And Megan today, she's going to talk about how she uses prayer to incorporate it in her business and what drew her into doing what she does, which is she picks up people's laundry and she washes it for them, and then she blesses it and returns it folded, which I think is such a unique little niche that can serve the world in so much beautiful ways. So Megan, I'm going to send it over to you to share a little bit more about who you are and what you're doing in the world.
Thank you. Thank you. So
Mhm.
we have always traveled for work. My husband and I met in 2018 traveling on the oil field and work. And shortly after we got married, I stayed home and just became a stay-at-home wife. I take care of the house, the laundry, cooking, all the things. And so we travel back and forth. We'd go home for a little bit. We build a house. And so we're in the area because we got the call to be here in 3 days. We were going to be here for 3 months. And now it's turned into like the next 7 to 10 years as long as we want to be here. And I had this dream of opening a laundromat and just a laundromat coffee shop, just this communal area that people can just like feel loved in back home. But if we're going to be here the next 7 to 10 years, we're starting something here too. So I started my pickup and delivery laundry service that wind is really loud. That I go to their house and I pick up their laundry. I bring it home. I sort it. I stain treat it. I treat it as if it were mine. Um, Fold it all nice and neat or hang dry, whatever they would like. And then on my way to delivery, I always have a full out like concert in my car with whatever praise and worship music I'm listening to at the time. So I always have me a little concert on the way, and then I turn it down real fast, and then I bless their business or their family or just their week, that they feel this abundance of peace and just blessings this week. And then I go drop off their little laundry and just pray that they have a great day and a great week.
I love that. I love that. And when you say when we moved here, where's here?
So we're in Mooresville, and we're in a rent house in Mooresville. And so I do all the laundry in my home in the rent house, unless it's like bulk order and I need to go to a laundromat. But most of it's done here in the house.
Okay. And so you serve like the greater like Charlotte area, would you say?
I do. So right now I service from Statesville to Concord. And I'm
Mhm.
branching out into the Charlotte area, partnering with some Airbnbs and just honestly anybody that needs it. But I'm in the talk with partnering with some Airbnbs. I do both commercial and residential.
It's amazing. So I like to talk about like, so you decided to do this business, and then as a spiritual coach and a mindset coach and a happiness coach, I like to talk about like, how do you like, what does that look like behind the scenes? Like, what is you when you wake up in the morning, like how do you start your day? Like, how do you manage your mind and your emotions and your physical body to be able to be of service in a way like this? And like when it came to like even pricing, because like I'm thinking about like people always have this grand idea, like they want to start a business and they think that it's easy, but it's not easy. There's a lot of little pieces that have to like the puzzle pieces, and like and it takes time for that to like come forth once you make the decision, right? We were talking about like you were waiting to start promoting your business because you didn't have the LLC yet. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You're going to start promoting it now because you don't want to wait until the LLC, right? You have to start getting that activity, that visibility towards your business and things like that. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go like tell me a little bit more about like how do you manage your mind, and like what is your thoughts, and do you have like any structure that you've set up for your business so you can make sure you're consistent and each client gets the same level of service no matter what's going on, or how does that work for you?
I'm really excited to see what this next week is going to bring. for my birthday slash beginning of the new business present, I bought a big kitchen island that's going to be my folding space because I was using my kitchen table. So I've set up a whole folding area in my spare bedroom, and I'm really excited for the TikToks to come with that. But I get up at 5:30 every morning. My husband leaves for work anywhere from 6 to 6:30. I make his breakfast, lunch, start his truck, warm it up, and then give him a kiss as he goes out the door. And I then move into my quiet time. I take all my supplements, medicines I'm supposed to be taking, and I just sit down. And I've been absolutely loving your 40-day devotional frequency of words. That is phenomenal for me. It really like changed something for me. But I do that, and then I just spend some quiet time in the word. I have a habit of waking up in the middle of the night at like a random time, and that time has always kind of been this verse that he's asking me to read. So
Yeah.
like at 3:20, and it was like Mark 3:20. It was crazy. So I'll always like jot this little note down in my wake up in the middle of the night stage, and in that morning I kind of dive into that, and I dive in even further into the the definitions of the words and breaking them down and all that. But that's in the morning. I eat me a little breakfast, and then I work remotely for a naturopathic doctor. And so I do a little bit of work for him and social media for my business, and kind of jabble
Mhm.
it all up into one. And then before I go to bed, I make sure all orders are taken care of, packed up, folded, and ready for delivery first thing the next morning, which I usually deliver about 9 a.m. So I have my quiet time. I could deliver those orders.
I love that. And then what would you think is the one action that's bringing you in business? Like what's something you're doing? Is it sort of marketing you're doing, or is it word of mouth? How are your clients finding you?
A lot of word of mouth and referrals. I'm in a networking group that meets once a week on Thursdays, and we are heavily referral based. I think we have like 380 tags on Facebook through all of us. So
Oh,
just
wow.
this past week, a client put on Facebook they were looking for a laundry service, and another, I didn't even have to do it. One of our people in the group took the post, put it in our Facebook group for our networking group, and they flooded, and they're like, highly recommend, because they've all tried, like, we all try each other's service as much as we can. I can't have a roofer put a roof on my rental house, but we assist each other in their services, and that way we know what to refer and like how we can best help them build their business. So that
That's
group
amazing.
has
And
played
I
an.
imagine that because your service is unique, so you're probably like the only one in that networking group. Is that true?
Yeah, I am. We only kind
Yeah.
of we have one of each, niche business, whatever, but it helps us to be able to support the one person for sure.
That's amazing. It's amazing. I know that you too, you just said it was your birthday and you just got to go on a trip. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I felt like it was just another day, and I was like, I don't even know what I want to do. And we're kind of blessed to be in this area now. In Mississippi, there's not much to see and do around us, not many mountains. So I kind of like had this place on my bucket list for a while, and I couldn't decide when I was going to be able to go do it. We went up last, I think, Memorial Day, and just went to the mountains, up near Asheville. We were in Linwood area. I think that's what it is.
Mm.
But I was like, I really want to go do this. So last minute, I booked this cute little motel in Saluda, North Carolina. Had we gotten there on time, we would have seen there's a giant like overview out the back of the motel that is supposed to be gorgeous at sunrise and sunsets. We didn't catch that, but next time, the motel. And so we got up the morning of my birthday, early in the morning. I was actually up with God at 5 a.m. I don't know why, but I was up at 5 a.m. just taking it all in, doing my hair, getting ready, and then we drove an hour to. It's called the Fred W. Symes Chapel. It's at the YMCA Greenville, which is in Cleveland, South Carolina, and is this chapel that overlooks the mountains. And there was
Mm.
something so personal for me. My last name is Hill, and above the cross on the like banister of the chapel, it says, "I lift my eyes up to the hills," and has the scripture. And I just took that so personally. We have been walking through an infertility journey of 9 years. And it just, me and God were on a page of, He was just talking to me in that moment. And I felt so seen and heard. And I was trying not to be a blubber fool in the back of this chapel with all these people taking cute pictures, but it was hard because there was so much emotion just being in this place, taking his creation. And then something about me, I've lived and worked in the snow, never like full time. We were in Pennsylvania for a few years, Wyoming, but being up here, I'm exposed to more snow. So on the way home, we took the long route. We went through Asheville, stopped at a few small towns, and it snowed on the way home. Just little snow flurries falling. But I am like a kid at Christmas when snow falls, and I just feeling seen and heard in that chapel. And then on the route home, the snow falling, and I was just in tears. I was, man,
Amazing. It's amazing. I love that you said about like when you wake up and that's instead of being feeling like anxious, you spend time with God. And that's definitely one of the things, part of my story I shared in my 20s. I used to wake up and I used to throw up like pretty much every morning because I was anxious and scared. And I was a single mom. So everything, like the things I was feeling were totally natural, like the human experience, right? But I also changed my perspective on what that means when I wake up in the morning. And I think that's my angels and God trying to talk to me when the world's silent, right? And so it's that little just shift of perspectives that we can do to like see things from a higher perspective and keep us light so we can keep moving forward and be of service to humanity in the way that we authentically are designed to be. And that's the other thing is something I haven't shared. I don't know if I've shared yet with you at the networking group that we met at, but I incorporate human design into my life. And it's human design is it's a chart that you can use to help you tap into your full potential, and it's a body chart. So it talks to you like about the different signals in your body that are like if is this a fear thought or is this a fear feeling or is this my intuition feeling? And it's really helped me because what I've learned about myself is I'm a projector. And so projectors are 20% of the world, and we're very unique. And it's like our frequency comes first, our energy, like people feel our, for every human being, really, your energy speaks before you speak. And it's like the, who are you being? Who are you being as you go about your day? And like heart-centered service business usually the heart goes for first, right? You lead with your heart. You're not logically, your mind, it doesn't go first, right? And so it's been human design has been a big part of like helping me understand like why have I always had this nudge to be a life coach? And it's because it matches like it matches my energy. I'm not supposed to be somebody that's out there constantly hustling and doing. I'm supposed to be a guide for others and show them what's possible when they let go of all those excuses and limiting beliefs that are holding them back. And so now using that as like gifts. So I like the your message about that, about like when you wake up in the morning, don't be fearful. Like see it as moments with God, right? It's very powerful. I
so my birth is 222, and so it's always been this number that is very like hotel rooms, room 222, whatever. So I woke up this on my birthday at 2:36. And I was like, come on, you could have given me 222. And he said, no, because the 3 and the 6 make up 9. You're 29 today. And so we're starting off on 2-9. And I was like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, nine is a representative number of cycles. So a cycle is completing. And
Wow.
it's right before your 30th birthday, in numerology and astrology, they talk about it's your oh my gosh, solar return. It's a cycle ending. So when this happens, this is like where all the things that are no longer serving you are shutting away to birth in what is coming forth for you. And
That's amazing.
your two has a meaning too, but I don't we can talk about that one on one and individually because um like mystical, esoteric, God is the creator of the universe, and the universe like is created with he created it perfectly, right? So everything that the day you came into the world was the perfect date. The time you were born was perfect. And you can study these wisdom knowledges that help you to guide you to bring you more. What I understand is they're not to limit me, but they're here to help me give me understanding about myself. These tools like numerology and the human design. And now a lot of people are talking about gene keys. What's the other one that people are doing? And the churches are having people do a certain kind of like personality test that people are using to help them understand themselves. Because when you focus on your gifts, and also um our gifts are if our gifts are also things that we may have struggled with, like anxiety and stuff like that. Anxiety is fearful worry. And so I know that that was a gift for me because it helped me it helped me know how to alchemize and transmute that. And now I can help others. I can help others point out when what they're thinking is like an anxious or fearful thought and things like that. So learn taking our obstacles and our challenges and using them for our purpose, right? Do you have any questions or anything like that that you want to share? Anything else important that you want to share with the audience today?
So we met at a networking group that I wasn't sure I needed to be at because I hadn't fully started my business. And I was so grateful to be in this area and to be around like-minded women that could boost me up. And so first meeting was phenomenal. But the meeting where no one came, everyone was out, and it was just you and I sitting down having coffee was so just revealing. You said earlier, I was at the stage where I didn't have my LLC back yet, and I didn't have my website, and I couldn't decide like what to do. And laundry it involves a washer and it involves a dryer. It does not involve all the other things. I mean, yeah, I got to have a car to pick up and deliver, but I was so like held back on all these little things that weren't even that important. And I was so grateful to just have a time of that I felt heard and I felt understood and I felt like you gave me a push that I needed to put my foot on the gas and go. I remember that day I came home because I couldn't start my bank account until I had my LLC because my bank wouldn't allow it. And the day I left the meeting with you, I stopped on the way home. I got a DBA. I went to 3 different banks and I was trying to open a business banking account. And I said, the first one that's going to like accept me, I'm doing it. I went to the third bank and we set up my business banking account immediately, set up my payment processing systems, and I picked up an order that next morning at 9 a.m. because I wasn't holding. It was really amazing.
And that's my zone of genius. That's like my unique code is I get like when people are talking about something, I can see where they are. Um, and I've had to learn the hard way too. I usually have to only like if they're asking me to share feedback, then it goes better because sometimes if I speak before I'm invited, people can get very upset with me. But it comes from love. It's unconditional love. I'm like, you don't need that. Like, just go and do it. And it came
Yeah.
from love and like lightness. And that's one of my gifts that I used to think was a curse, but now I know it's a gift. So that's the other thing is one of the things I had to do for myself is if I in knowing that if I if my services are better received when being invited, then I have a personal responsibility to put myself out there to be in person events so people can feel my heart. A lot of times, like on social media and things like that, the energy is felt in person, right? And so that was one of my biggest things is I had to get out of my brain and mind and say, no, get out of your house, go outside, meet people, go out there, put yourself out in person And that was one of the things that I had to overcome is put myself out there in person and just like even though I don't feel like perfectly put together yet because I'm still dealing with some health challenges and things like that and I don't always feel my best every day, but I still put myself out there because like there's one thing to have something that you're working through and stay isolated, but there's another thing to do to put yourself out there and the courage it takes to keep showing up and putting yourself out there. We talk a lot about that, to the courage to change and the courage to be vulnerable and the courage to be authentic, to not the courage to let go of perfectionism. Like it doesn't have to be perfect, right?
That's a big stronghold, but yeah.
It, it is. I mean, a lot of people will like stop themselves because they broke a nail or something, like, oh, I broke my nail, so now I have to do this. And it's like, no, it's still just go, just be you, okay? You don't have to change anything to just and that's the fear. That's fear showing up is like fear shows up whenever we have a big purpose and we are taking radical action and we are putting ourselves out there. All there's going to be a lot of obstacles that come about, and that's why I prioritize and I promote people to like find a networking group, finds people that are going to be there to show up. Like even if you're starting a new fitness routine, find a fitness buddy to go with. It's much easier to do it when you have that accountability. When accountability comes
Yeah.
in with it. Like you're much more if you're my son's my accountability partner for the gym. So he'll ask for a ride to the gym. He's like, "Are you coming in with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come in with you." So accountability is what I think is important too in business. What are your thoughts on accountability?
I have strictly prayed for just to have someone in my life that would speak life over me. And in the networking event that I'm in on Thursdays, one of our ladies is a massage therapist and she's actually blind. And so we kind of like
Mm.
sparked up this little, like, I'll pick her up and I'll take her to a meeting. And I'm like, oh, let's go do this. Let's go do that. And she has become such a like monumental piece in my business and in my personal life. She sent me a big long message yesterday on my birthday and she was speaking so much life over me and the chapter I'm stepping into and all the things that God's doing in my life. And in the very next message it was, okay, so we're going to create your stickers for your laundry soap that you're selling and we're going to go pass it out to all these salons. And I'm like so nervous. I don't want to step out and put myself in this position, but I know that I have to and I'm working on that. But having her in my life just to be like, no, it's okay. We're gonna go do this. This is serving you. This is serving your business. This is serving him. That's giving you this business. It's just been phenomenal with him placing her in my life.
That's amazing to hear somebody that's blind and is a massage therapist. I
She's
mean, talk
phenomenal.
about somebody that could have excuses. My gosh. And
She's got a phenomenal.
I'm blind in my left eye. I have a prosthetic eye. That's some of the things that I've been struggling with is the inflammation in that area where I've had surgeries and stuff like that. But I mean, thankfully I still have vision in my right eye, right? That's amazing.
You'll have to hear her story one day, but she had a lot of surgeries, and the vision came back for 1 hour after a massage after a surgery. They were trying to help her relieve some pain and we're giving her a massage and her vision came back completely for an hour. And so that's how she was called into massage therapy
That's
to
amazing.
body.
Wow.
She's
Oh
awesome.
my goodness. Just gave me chills.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I got to have this conversation with you. This was one of a God nudge that came through for me, and that's another thing I'm learning. Like when I get those little nudges and I take action on them, they're always divinely orchestrated, purposeful. I have another person that reached out to have a guest speaker on my show, and she is a sleep specialist. She helps babies and mamas get teach them how to train their bodies to have good sleep. And part of my healing journey and part of my services that I tell people is rest is holy. Like so much time we spend is like people, if you have to take a day off to take care of your mental, physical health, it's not the end of the world, right? Like your physical, mental, emotional health is dependent on you being of service. So take care of that. That's number one priority above all else, right? And so having her finding out that that's what she does, I'm like, I'm so excited to have that conversation with you because it's true, like rest and you like you said, even after you get your husband off, you take that little hour for yourself and prioritize your physical, spiritual, and emotional health and seeing that as sacred. Sacred rest is holy and rest is sacred. It's how we regulate our nervous system.
Yeah. And I love
All
that
right.
God's placed all these this groups and people in my life in this season of it's it's just crazy how it's all lining up.
Yeah.
But I love that he's placed her as well.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, the first nudge was go to this networking event, and then the second nudge was be like see like I see myself of service to that group and like just keep showing up and be you and the rest will come together, you know? And that's how I've had to
Yeah.
surrender because in real estate real estate was like I had to go out there and seek the people and seek and it was like okay. And I learned so that's how I learned how to run a business as a projector, but it was challenging. It's challenging when you know that you have a uniqueness that isn't meant for everybody. And so you have like for real estate, I had to put a lot of effort into it to make it work for me. And there was also a lot of things doing for it. And I was really good at it because anybody that chose me as a real estate agent was successful with their desires and their goals and what they were looking in purchasing and selling a home. But it just kind of burned me out. And so when I was praying about how can I be of service, God's like, you've been a life coach your whole life, my love. Like, just own it. Just let this be your next chapter. You don't have to do all that. Just let your coaching business flourish. And I was like, okay, we'll flow with that then. And these are the steps. Going to the networking event and having calls like this, conversations like this is how I am planning on to meet my new clients, and having faith and trust that that is enough and that's all it's going to take.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I have a new one I can send you. Um, Caitlin and I, her name is Caitlin, the massage therapist that's blind. We just joined one that's a speed dating networking group for women, and they meet
Oh,
once a month.
nice.
So information, it's really fun.
Yeah, that sounds great. Alrighty. Well, we're going to wrap up today. And again, take what you like, leave the rest behind. This is it's shared from our hearts, our authentic service. And if you want to reach Megan, go ahead, Megan, share how they can get a hold of you.
So I am on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I make silly little TikToks with my pickup and deliveries. Carolina Clean Linen and Laundry on any of the social medias. You can text or call at 662-617-9911, or you can schedule a pickup on our website, www.carolinacleanlinenlaundry.com.
Thank you so much. And you guys know how to reach me, Align by Faith on Instagram. And I always put my email in the show comments below. If you have any general curiosities or questions, please reach out to either Megan. If you have questions about laundry and laundry detergents, cleaning up the toxins in your home, please reach out to her. And you guys know where to get a hold of me if you want any coaching or mentorship going through this journey in your life. And if you're wanting to start a new business, maybe you want some accountability and guidance on how to let go of those excuses so you can take action on your purpose-driven business. Sending you guys love. Satnam.